Welcome on back. So, big news. I was able to. Oh no. Oh no. I just realized I made a goof. Anyways, so this episode we're going to be talking about computer science in a nutshell. And honestly, how did that change? Anyways, that's unfortunate. So, basically, what I was doing off camera just before this is I was continuing to reassign this librarian. Now he's forever a lure librarian, which that's so annoying. Anyways, I had it to mending, and I don't know what happened. I slept, and overnight, I guess that's just a little lesson for myself. So, anyways, yeah, this librarian is pretty much worthless. But, anyways, so the overview of this episode is going to be getting ready to make what is called a mob grinder. If you might remember from the last episode, I believe, I was talking about how I needed arrows. And basically, we're going to need a bunch of stuff that is useful that mobs drop. So, things like arrows, rotten flesh to trade with the clerics, gunpowder especially. We're going to be needing that for rockets and TNT blocks, everybody's favorite. And yeah, in order to do this, I did a little research, and it looks like a successful grinder involves 23 blocks of fall damage to the mob, and then you get to take him out in one hit. So that'll make more sense once we get to the grinder episode, which will hopefully be next episode. We'll see how we do. I'm a little disappointed that I lost that mending. So basically why I'm trying to get a book of mending is a powerful enchantment that you can put on your tools and armor and weapons, and it will essentially make that item repair itself with experience. So if you hold it in your offhand, or if you happen to be wearing armor that's enchanted with mending, the experience points that you receive will actually go to fixing that item, and then also I think a lot of it bleeds over and you still get levels from that. But it's just something very useful. As you can see, my diamond pickaxe is less than half health right now, and normally to repair it we would need an anvil and we would need more diamonds. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to repair an unenchanted diamond pickaxe when you can just craft a new one for about the same price. Alright, let's see. So, and how do I want to do this? So basically what we're doing now is we are grinding. So we need to gather supplies, lots of supplies, to get diamonds. Now, diamonds, the easiest way I've found, or sorry, not diamonds, emeralds. The easiest way to get emeralds is from trading with farmer villagers, and they will give you emeralds for just a bunch of crops. Now, crops are the easiest thing to do early game, whereas trading with villagers like the cleric, you have to get rotten flesh, and then I think rabbit's feet, and, other kind of harder to acquire items. Whereas with farming, we've already got quite a decent farm going. I don't know what happened to those village farmers that were trying to mess with it. Whoever knows. But anyways, yeah. And luckily that's not a farmer, so he's not going to start digging up our crops and messing with things. But anyways, that's about the gist of that. So, alright, and let's see. So that's what we're going to be doing this episode. Really sad that I spent quite a long time, and you have to be patient trying to get the correct trade from someone. Like, see, for instance, let's chase down this librarian. Oh, is this the one? Efficiency 5. Okay, so I left this one because Efficiency 5 is the highest tier efficiency enchantment you can get, even though it's for 64 emeralds, which is pretty pricey. Oh, there's a lot of wandering traders, too. Also, check back with these guys every now and then. The main thing we're going to do, we don't really need anything. He has birch saplings, but honestly, we could probably just look around and find a birch tree. In fact, there's one right there on my cursor. So, anyways, the reason I checked back with these guys is sometimes they'll have jungle saplings. Now, jungles are one of the rarest biomes in Minecraft, so it's really hard to find a jungle. Let's see what this guy trades for. Carrots. We can do that. Let's get a few carrots. Alright, and let's see. And pumpkins will be a good thing. We'll do an automatic pumpkin harvester real soon. That's a really fun thing and easy to build. All we need are pistons and dirt blocks and observers and stuff like that. Let's see. And we also have potatoes. We can get one. So, basically, when I had... Oh, there's 2 librarians in here. Lure. Okay, that's the worthless one. And flame. Alright, yeah. And like I said, in fact, that guy... I don't know what lectern he's connected to. Let's keep trying this, though. This is what I was doing off camera. So I was waiting to see Oh, I think that one tries to get assigned to it, so we're not going to get a new one. And I accidentally bought a book of lure, and so that locked in his trades. And so, honestly, we're just going to delete him. Okay, now that he's gone, will another villager from here take it? It's picking up someone. Yep, that's messed up to do, I know, but, you know, I spent a long time getting that book of mending, so I'm a little frustrated. But anyways, so back to grinding. Let's just keep running around, checking our farms. We might even make an even bigger farm, because like I said, ooh, and actually, whenever you see this, and this might have been from a farmer villager, make sure you alternate the rows, because it will make the crops grow insanely faster. Let's see. Let's make this one carrots. Why not? So, actually, that's potato. Yeah, there's a farmer villager messing with this stuff because it's all disorganized. Alright, and let's get some more beetroots because I am trading with a beetroot villager at some point. Alright, and then, let's see, so we're going to do a mob grinder soon. It's already almost nighttime. And we're going to try to get that book of mending. Very frustrating, but that's how it is, and that's a big factor of Minecraft. You know, you're going to deal with that. It's just part of life. So, anyways, the other focus of this episode is I wanted to basically. Oh, so before I get started with that, other big news: I added a Java page to the website, so it is coming along rather nicely. And by the time a lot of you watch this video or these videos, my website tutorial is going to be pretty much where I consider it to be not finished, but to where production ready, we'll say. So I graduate my boot camp for cybersecurity here in a couple months, like 2.5 months, and that's my timeline for when I want to get the tutorial website finished, quote unquote. And by finished, I mean anyone who has, you know, little to no experience with computers or computer science can come in and learn how to program, learn the basics of computer science, stuff like that. So, yep. And as white hats, anyone using it will hopefully feel the need to continue to pay it forward, spread the knowledge, help others learn more skills and things. And it's really interesting, too. Like I said before, it's a giant puzzle. It's like a never-ending video game. It's just good stuff. All right, we're going to take his leads. You didn't say anything. Okay, the llamas are going to be upset. And let's see what this guy has. Jungle sapling? No. Oh, well, he does have leads, and we're going to use those eventually. 3 leads. All right. And I think there's a third one. Nope, just a bunch of llamas left over from all the wandering traders that have mysteriously vanished in my village. Alright, anyways, 8 minutes in, and now back to the main focus of this episode. While we do this grinding, I'm going to be talking about computer science in a nutshell. So, in order to be ready for a job, self-taught or, you know, having a degree, you need to be able to understand a few certain concepts. And like I've said before, computer science is almost synonymous with computer programming. You absolutely have to learn how to write computer code in at least one language, and it's really easy to learn other languages once you have one language under your belt. In fact, when I was going for my degree, we started off learning Java, and then I moved to C++, I think my sophomore year, and then I started programming in Python a little bit, went back to Java, and now I'm actually mostly programming in Python for Code Wars, as it's just such an easy language. I mean, in hindsight, I wish I would have learned Python first, but there it is. And actually, Java is a really important one to learn because it's all 3 of those languages are what's called object-oriented programming languages, meaning you can create objects in them, which are very complex variables. And we briefly touched on that before, but anyways, so computer science in a nutshell. Basically, in fact, yeah, let's go ahead and get a hoe and let's get more of a garden going because we're going to need a lot of crops. And let's even get the crops too so we can continue to trade with the villagers, get up our emeralds, and be ready for that wonderful time when, let's see, yeah, as you can see, I've got quite a bit of carrots, I've got beetroots, and some potatoes. You can double click and get them all. Yeah, why not? Okay. Anyways, computer science in a nutshell. So, you absolutely have to learn how to write computer code in a programming language. And that's the main thing that I have on my tutorial website. I also have a section on white hat, of course, and I have a section of, oh, I'm hungry. I'll have an extensive section, actually probably a section for each language that deals with debugging, as that's a very important skill to have when you're programming. Alright, and emeralds. And let's see. Beetroots. Nice. Yep, we can get a lot from that. And now we already have 34 emeralds and a lure book. That's disappointing, but what can you do? Anyways, so you'll need to learn how to write computer code in a coding language. What are you doing glitching out? Go on, get out of there. There, you're free. Anyways, and for these classes, or these videos, we're going to start with Python. We've been talking a little bit about Python, and yeah, that's just the easiest language to learn. But you really should try to dabble in Java as well. C++ is just fun because it's a little more powerful, yet risky. And I'll explain a little more of that later. Alright, so let's see. We need a hoe. This one's going to break, so let's craft. Yeah, we're still using iron, so we'll do that. Ta-da, and ta-da. Okay, so. And then on top of that, well, actually, let's just go through what I learned from my degree. So I started off, the biggest thing was learning how to use Linux, and we learned how to use Eclipse, which is an integrated development environment for pretty much a lot of languages. But we used it for Java to start off with. And you can use it for, let's see, I'm going to need to get a bucket of water and some other stuff. And I'm going to need to move this out. Yeah, so I'm going to keep doing that while we talk. So yeah, first year it was all focused on learning primitive variables, how to write basic programs in Java, especially the Hello World program. That's the first program that just about everyone learns, and it's very important. You will need it for being able to debug, being able to code, a lot of things. So, and I actually already have a Hello World in Java on the Java page set up, and I'm going to include a Hello World for every language I cover on the website. So, first year, we learned about objects, primitive variables, loop logic, control flow, like that whole, the if-else statements is the control flow, and then loops are kind of considered partial control flow, but they're important to know. And that's it. I had, 2 computer science classes my freshman year. One the first semester, one the second semester. They start you off nice and easy. And then my second year, we went into more complex file input and output. We did dabble in that a little bit, although we didn't go too far in depth. And that's a really important concept to understand in computer science as well. I mean, the main things are control flow, so like if-else statements, 1, 2, 3, 4, and loops. And once you understand those concepts, and file input and output, and then after all that, you're pretty much set. Then it's just getting more complex and learning how to do different things with your code, different techniques, learning how to optimize, stuff like that. And we did start talking about what's called Big O notation, which is the complexity of your program, or how optimized and how efficient it is. And we will definitely be covering that, as that's really important once you try to get into industry. So yeah, let's see. So that's potatoes, carrots. Carrots there, carrots there. We're going to do a lot of carrots. Okay. And potatoes. Do I have potatoes? Yes. Alright, so sophomore year, we got more in depth in programming. And I want to say sophomore year is when I actually started working with C++. So that was another important thing they taught us, was how to be comfortable switching languages. And this is incredibly important because both of the technical jobs I've had since graduating, I did not use any of the programming languages I had learned. My first job, I had to learn Visual Basic, and honestly, I had never even heard of that programming language until I got to that job. So you need to be flexible, and you need to be comfortable learning new languages. And like I said, I have a Java page going on my website. I have the content for a Python and a C++ page, but I just haven't made the transition yet, actually uploaded them, stuff like that. So, anyways, and then my third year, we learned operating systems, A little bit about assemblers and assembly code, just to kind of get some legacy. You need to know computer architecture, like computer circuits, a basic understanding of those. And then unfortunately, my degree was actually only 75% CS and then 25% business. So what I would have learned in my senior year, and actually I did one of the classes as an elective just because I wanted to do as much CS as I could. We did databases for one of the classes, compilers is another one, parallel programming, artificial intelligence, and big data, I think were the main ones that you could either focus on. So, and that's getting more advanced. I mean, if you understand all of that, you'll pretty much be interview ready. You can get into a job. Um, Ideally, hiring companies or hiring managers, it's even if you know everything that they ask you on the interview questions, they're really going to feel more comfortable if you have a degree. Just having that piece of paper really does speak volumes. Means that you were able to put in the work and really understand these concepts in depth. However, the goal with my website, well, originally it was for college students. You know, kind of a resource that like a one-stop shop, if you will, for learning this stuff. But after being in a boot camp with people that have little to no experience with computers, and they were able to learn Python in a matter of maybe a month, month and a half, it made me think, you know, like really anybody can jump into computer science if they just are willing to put in the work, put in the effort, and all that good stuff. So, and definitely watching these videos will give you a basic understanding of computer science and programming, but you still need to check out the website, or if you really don't want to check out the website I'm making, do some Google Foo. Do some research, you know, look at some websites, do some tutorials. There's some really good sites out there. I know Codecademy used to be really good. I don't know if they have any good free versions now. Last time I looked, you actually had to pay for all the things that I had been able to do previously for free. Free Code Camp is another really good one. I highly recommend that for anyone wanting to get into web development. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one. Okay, doesn't make a lot of sense. And actually, that's going to be bad news because we need to have this contained. That should work. Oh, it's still flowing a little bit. It wants to. Oh well, that's good. Anyway, so yeah, that's computer science in a nutshell. Like I said, freshman year we only focused on Java, file input output, variables, objects, some more like complex variables, data structures, and actually, I want to say data structures was sophomore year. I took a whole class on that, barely passed. It was a very tough class, but I was also taking a computer architecture class simultaneously. So sophomore year, they kick it up, they double your classes to 2 classes a semester. And on the side, you're also doing things like calculus. I know that was a requirement, at least Calc 1. I think Calc 2 was a requirement for actual CS students, whereas I was ACT, so I got away with just just doing Calc 1. And honestly, calculus, I would say, you really just got to be able to understand it. You don't have to be good at it to be good at computer science. I mean, yes, it does help when you get into more in-depth programs, but a lot of it, knowing algebra, I'd say, is much more crucial. So if you did good in algebra, then congrats. You'll probably do pretty good in computer science. Alright, let's see. I don't know how far out I can go with that one. It's just, like I said, we're just grinding away. And we might also get some supplies. We still got 10 minutes. Basically, I want to get a lot of emeralds, and I want to get that. I really want to get that book of mending. That really drives me crazy that guy stopped or switched to lure overnight. So, anyways, we'll get it. And once we get mending on our tools, they will be so much better. Like, I'll be able to heal up my pickaxe, and I won't have to go mining for diamonds forever. Which I'll still probably do that because I'm going to want diamond armor eventually, and then netherite. But for now, if you get the Book of Mending, yeah, all your tools pretty much become invincible. You just got to invest a little time doing some experience grinding, and that's where the mob grinder comes in, because we'll have that too. We do have the zombie piglin experience farm, but it's not the best one. I mean, really, I did that more for like a gold farm, because for some of our automated farms, we are going to need powered rails, and to have powered rails, you need gold. I also need redstone, which now that I think about it, I don't think we have any on this game, so we'll go ahead and do a little searching for that. You can either mine redstone, or if you say let's get enough what is that? Infected flesh or bad flesh? Anyways, what the zombies drop. Why can't I think of it now? Anyways, well, let's check it out. Let's see. Let's go to a cleric. I'm pretty sure there was one in here. No? He escaped? Alright, anyways, they like to do whatever they want, but anyways, the zombie flesh. The zombie flesh is good for cleric villagers. They'll trade it for emeralds. So now we already have 43 emeralds. Let's see, and you are a bookshelf one. Are we able to change that? I don't know. Let's see. Because we're waiting for crops to grow. And already I did cover the concepts. Also, we don't need this guy. He's a twit. Oh, I don't know what happened to him. Didn't see anything. Okay. Alright, and... I see it was frustrating earlier because I was trying to drop down this lectern. And I couldn't find where the villager was that was linking to it. If you see the little green sparkles above a workstation, that means a villager has chosen that for their job. Now, I was checking these pens because they like to get stuck in here. Let's go over here. I saw a villager. Yeah, are there any hanging out in here? No. Alright. Our vegetables, our crops are still growing a little bit. Let's keep grinding. Alright. Because we need a lot of emeralds. Oh, that's the other thing. Once you do get a trade that you want, hey, here's a villager. You want the job? No, but someone linked to it. You can tell by the green sparkles. Sound like a villager. Huh. Alright, well. Yep, you don't get the job. Alright, and this is kind of why it's a little frustrating to have so many villagers in a village and have all this organized chaos. Because really, the villager could be anywhere. I mean, it was nice before because it was just a guy that was in here. Let's see. Oh, there's a cleric villager. So, there we go, and rotten flesh. Yep. So that will actually get dropped by zombies and zombie piglin. And it costs a lot, 32 for one emerald, so we're going to need a lot of it. But luckily for us, the mob grinder will be very lucrative in that sense. Let's see, we also have beetroots. Was one of you a beetroot trader? Oh, potatoes. We've got quite a few farmers. Let's see. Huh? Oh, I already traded with them too much. And they need to go to a workstation to refill their trades, which I plopped down a couple here just to get a couple of different farm trades, but yeah, no biggie. I mean, like I said, once we get that mending book, yeah, we'll only need to get a handful of mending books. They're expensive. And you can see a couple little kid villagers running through there. Alright, well, let's focus on more crops. Let's see, I can get more carrots. Alright. So yeah, CS in a nutshell. The basics, you need to learn how to write code, like Java or Python or even C++. I recommend starting with Java or Python. They're the easiest and most helpful. C++ is more powerful, but it's not as helpful like with its error messages. It's a little harder to set up. You need to use what's called a makefile to compile the code into computer code, like actual computer code. Whereas with Java, the way we'll be doing it is we'll be using Eclipse as the IDE, or Integrated Development Environment, and that'll make it really easy to compile the Java files into binary code or computer code. And Python, well, Python you have things like Replit. Now Replit, I've mentioned before, is it's kind of like a tutorial website. You can practice writing code snippets on there, and that's actually what we're using for my cybersecurity bootcamp. So it has a terminal window in it, a simulated one, so you get to get comfortable with Linux by using it, and you can run Python code really easily. So that's why we'll be doing that, and I suggest you go check out Replit, make a free account on there, and then start playing around with it. Definitely the terminal. I do have a Linux section up on the website, so you can refer to that for the basic Linux instructions. But yeah, all you really need to know is Linux is a more friendly operating system for learning how to program. You can program on Windows and Mac just fine, but it takes a little more setup. So yeah, let's see. So we have potatoes. Alright then, yeah, definitely off camera I'm going to do a little bit of work and try to get that get that mending enchantment. I was so excited about that. But anyways, I digress. So CS in a nutshell. And then once you learn primitive variables, data types, data structures, file input output, like really those are all the basics. Then you can get into more advanced things like optimizing your code, which is very important, especially when you go into industry or if you do something like big data, because a lot of times you might write, code that works for all intensive purposes. It'll do what you expect it to, and that's great. But once you start processing larger files, great example was, and actually one of my favorite classes, we worked with C++ and we made image manipulation software. So basically like very ghetto Adobe Photoshop functions, but it did a lot of the same stuff that Adobe Photoshop was able to do, only we built it from scratch. And when doing that, we worked with images, specifically PNG file type images, and basically we had to deal with thousands upon thousands of pixel values. We had to, code something to read them in. We had to, which one are you? You're probably my efficiency. Yep. And that's the one, that's the lectern that's in the building over there. We're going to keep that one just because efficiency is really good, and we're going to keep that at the highest tier. So, anyways, back to, image manipulation software. Now, one of our problems was since we were working with such large amounts of information or data, we had to optimize our programs because we were only allowed certain amounts of runtime before it was basically marked as 0 and we had to do it over. So, yep. And if you are going to college, which I highly recommend, anyone who does want to who wants to be serious about computer science and get into the industry, whether it be software developer or engineer or network engineer or IT analyst, it's a lot better to get the degree, go through it all. But you can also do boot camps. That's why I almost went back to school to get a few classes on cybersecurity, but then went the boot camp route because I've already done all the core curriculum. I've done the languages, the world problems, psychology, sociology, stuff like that, which I recommend everybody should do, but I've already done it, so I'm not going to go back and basically do all that again. Plus, I think I had to actually do calculus too, and I'll be honest, I was always good at math, but I hate calculus. It is like overly complicated, and it's great if you understand it. That's wonderful. I applaud you, but it wasn't my cup of tea. And honestly, I like more of the puzzles and programming, and you can be a great programmer without knowing hardly any calculus. So that's my spiel on that. Alright, so it's kind of getting dark. We've got some good crops going. Make sure you eat. Oh, you might also notice that this sugarcane over here is starting to come along as well. In fact, let's do a run. I like to free up a spot on my hotbar just in case I accidentally break, actually like that, just so I can fill in the gaps. I mean, it's not super important, it's just kind of like a little thing I like to nitpick about, but anyways, always harvest the sugar cane as often as you can because not only is it useful for paper, for making books, you can make sugar and make cakes later. You can throw it in our little bone meal grinder and it'll create bone meal. Okay, we're going to have some floating in the water, and you don't have to get all of it. That's the beauty of having them set up all over the place. Actually, I'm going to go to sleep because I've been having some horrible luck with mobs. But anyways, yeah, make sure you harvest it often and build up a stockpile because, yeah, you can make bone meal, you can make books, and you might have noticed with that librarian trader, you need to have, or let's see, you need to have a book as well as emeralds to get the item. Like this is that really nice efficiency one. But we need a whole stack of emeralds, 64 emeralds, and one book. But that's because this is the highest tier enchantment for efficiency 5. If you wanted to get that just by, trying your luck with the enchanting table where you can enchant one book at a time and spend lapis and spend experience points, you'll most likely get like an efficiency level 3 or efficiency level 4 maybe an efficiency 5. But then you would need to use an anvil, combine, say, 2 level 3s into a level 4 efficiency, and then you'd have to combine 2 level 4 efficiencies to get that 5, and it's just a lot of work. Like, we lucked out with that one. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep working on getting that getting that librarian. That's going to be awesome once I finally get that figured out. And we have a few more adult villagers running around. So, in fact, I think they all are. I don't see any kids over here. So that's a good sign. We'll figure out which one is linking to that lectern that I keep putting down. And then we'll go ahead and keep destroying the lectern and replacing the lectern until I get that mending enchantment. That's going to be so nice. Alright, but that's all for now. Like I said, we just wanted to cover CS in a nutshell. So anyone who's trying to get into it as a career, which I highly recommend, it's very fun, very lucrative. It's just one big puzzle. Yeah, it's really, really cool. That's basically what you'll need to know. And I'll try to add this in the description notes. I'll definitely add a section on the website because it helps to know what the kind of end goal is when you're trying to learn something. So, alright, well, until next time, I will see you later.